Beyond the beat, slow feet don't eat. You went and made it, was your story. Beyond the beat, come talk with Teak. We all can make it, share your story. Beyond the beat, beyond, beyond, way beyond the beat, beyond, beyond.
Okay, so you have, a couple hours or whatever to do the inspection, and something could get missed, right?
Sure.
What normally happens when something get missed? The house is already closed and people have moved on with their life, so to speak, and then you get a call from myself or Teak and say, hey, Miss Jane Doe is like, you missed, whatever, her water heater. I've had these calls, so or the roof. You missed the roof leak, and now they're trying to sue everybody.
Yeah.
So what is that?
Well, that's a great question. If it gets to like a lawsuit situation, that's unfortunate. At the very least.
Well, that's when people are not communicating. But yeah.
Yeah.
But
so it's funny you say water heater, because I just had an incident happen where I made a mistake, and see, I'm right up front. If you can't show people that you have humility, then how are they gonna trust?
How they gonna trust you? You're right.
Tell them the truth, right? So integrity is an important thing, and so just recently, I was out doing a condo. And it was in Scottsdale. Now, consider I live in Gilbert. So I drove up over to Scottsdale, did the inspection, and I came back. And the following morning, I got a phone call and found out that I had inspected the wrong water heater. Now, it was just kind of the interesting way it happened. There was a laundry area that was shared, and the water heater was in there where there was a water heater. So in my mind, I'm thinking, I checked the water heater. I had all pictures of it and everything. Well, come to find out, there was another water heater on the inside, and I didn't see that one because you know how sometimes mentally, you've already said, hey, I've checked the water heater. Well, then I went right by it, and my brain didn't pick it up. So, again, sometimes you miss something. Well, and then it just comes back to what kind of integrity do you have? Mm-hmm. So the very next day, I drove all the way out there again. And I went through tried to get into the super box.
Yeah.
And the CBS code was different. And so it took me 30 minutes just to get into the property. But the reason I say that is because things can happen.
Yes.
Things can be missed. And when it does happen, the best policy is be honest about it and then remedy the problem and make it to where everybody's happy again. So
that's good to hear, because sometimes people will definitely backpedal on you, like, oh no, I checked that. Oh, that didn't happen when I checked it. They'll backpedal. Yeah. So that's good that you have integrity and you will own up to it and try to make it right. And I did hear you say earlier that if it's something you have to fix, you'll come and fix it. So that's good to know.
Yeah. No, and sometimes there was an instance where and this was early on in my business, I missed a switch that was attached to a ceiling fan that was up about 15, 16 feet in the air. Somehow I missed it. I kept telling myself, I got to make sure I check that. And I was walking and doing different things because during an inspection, you're all around the house, on top of it, under it,
right.
In it, whatever. Somehow I missed the switch. And I think it was probably the first year or two that I was doing the job. And I found out about it. And I said, well, I apologized, of course. I went all the way to Home Depot, got the part that I needed, brought my stuff out there, went all the way up and disassembled the ceiling fan that apparently wasn't working. It needed a new battery unit in it. And I replaced it. I think it cost me about $50. But the more important thing is that they saw that, hey, he's human. He sometimes will miss something. I fixed it. And I went on to work with that agent for, many years. And,
that's important. I'm telling
still
you.
get calls from her from time to time. So I think that just kind of shows that, hey, things can get missed by anyone. And, it's just a matter of how you handle it.
Yes.
That's the important thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the spirit of relationships, we've talked about that quite a bit. And our timeline is very, very tight as real estate agents. So when we get the report back, we have to act very quickly with, as Teague mentioned, negotiating. And a lot of times we don't know what the estimates are for the work that needs to be remedied quickly. Do you have resources, contractors that you work with that you can easily recommend us to speak with
That,
to
that's
get estimates?
that's a great question. In fact, I just did that this morning. So as an inspector, I have to be careful that I don't jump out of my lane into, an area that could be, again, a liability. I don't want to tell somebody it's going to cost you $400 to fix this, and then they find out it's $1,200. That can go bad. However, you're right. It's when you have good people with you. Like I've got contractors and handymen that I use, and then, in fact, one of them's coming over to my own house today to help me with a project. So that's another thing. When I do recommend people, I recommend people that I use. So the termite company that I work with, they do work on my property. Same thing with requests for, prices to fix things. I have guys that I will refer out, and they can look at the report or the BINSR or whatever it is that you want fixed, and they can look at the home inspection report more specifically, and they can give you the prices for things and give you a real good idea of what that would cost. So, yeah, that's a terrific question, and it's important to know what to do. The next step is, because a lot of times people, if they don't know, then they get more nervous, right? So that's why if you guys, at being the great agents that you are, you get the information from the home inspection, you turn that into your BINSR, and you start kind of dealing with, okay, how much we want these 5 things fixed. I give it to one of my guys if you guys don't have your own, and then they can give you kind of an estimate. And they say, it might cost $1,200 to fix all 5 of these things.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
a great time saver.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you get that report back, you want to, get started with those negotiations right away, and you don't know who to reach out
Yeah.
to. And if that person that you reach out to for the estimate is someone that you would even trust to do the work, or you want your
Yeah.
clients to do the work.
It is important to know people that do a good job.
Yeah.
Like, my tile guy, he does work on my house, so he's done my whole house. So when I refer him, I know he's going to do a great job.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
And speaking of staying in your lane, I know we have to do that as realtors. Do you find it difficult to separate your personal feelings about a property from the business?
Yeah, that's a good question too. I don't, and the reason why is because as a consumer, and just as a guy that has to have a place to live all through the years, I've had all different kinds of homes, and I also have had investment properties. So any house can be and has the potential to be a good purchase, right? So if you get it for a good price, and let's say you decide to buy something that's a manufactured home and you can pick it up for $50,000, but you know that you're going to put a little in and then it's going to be worth, X amount of dollars after. I don't really have a problem with my personal feelings about a property because I've seen thousands now, and they all have potential. If the person behind it, whether it's a good agent with a buyer that's got a little bit of money to work with, I mean, you can make any deal work, and it doesn't matter what side of town it's on. It doesn't matter if it's in a low income neighborhood. I mean, even people with low income still have to have a place to live, and they want it to be nice and clean.
Right.
And so, yeah, I don't really have a personal thing when it comes to that. I mean, I've inspected hoarder homes, and I know that having done work like that, in my own personal life, it doesn't take much more than a big dumpster to clean out a house like that, right? And you get all that out of there, and before you know it, you got a house looking like it's a model home. So,
And he treats it all like if it's his own kids buying the house. If something's really an issue, then it's his job to let you know that.
is that what you meant by getting personal feelings in?
Yes.
I'm not sure if I answered the question right, but Is that what you meant?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, he treats it all kind of like that. Like, I mean, he knows enough about doing his own work on his houses and stuff that he knows if it's a big issue or a small issue, and if it's easy to fix or not.
What are some of the like the color types? What would you code as red, or something that needs to be handled immediately, as opposed to something that okay, we can wait for that?
You talking about as far as the report goes?
Yes, as far as the
Yeah,
report.
I just anything that's so they're letter indicators, and I think there's 6 on there. So anything that needs repair, there's a red R, and anything that's a safety issue, like I did a condo just the other day, a few days ago, and it didn't have a railing where the stairs go up, and a lot of people like that. They like the way it looks. And I'm like, that's great. But can you imagine if I didn't put in there that we recommend that you put a railing in, and all of a sudden your grandmother falls off the side and
Right.
hurts herself? So a lot of times we're putting things in reports that we know might be something that they want to do or not want to do, but we do it so that we can make sure that everybody understands there's a potential for a hazard here.
Right.
So like anything that's safety oriented, like a smoke detector that's maybe not installed, well, it's kind of an orange, right? So you have red, orange, and then anything that's a maintenance tip, I color sort of a bright green color. So I might recommend that people get additional gutters on a home because I can see that the ground's eroded a certain way, and so I'll do that. And then any comment that I put in there just for informational purposes, purple. So I don't know where I came up with it, but about 8.5 years ago, I just decided to pick purple. And so anytime it's just there's a key, and the key just shows what
Right.
each color means. And I think the key is on page 4. But because I try to keep it simple, I think you guys will see if you see the report, it's pretty self-explanatory. And but again, I think I sort of mentioned before, I can tailor make reports however you want. I mean, if you told me you wanted everything in pink, it's nothing for me to click, drag, and highlight and make it pink. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
So is your approach for prioritizing what needs to be done based on you looking at the property from the lens of this being a VA property or an investment property? Does it matter what the purpose of the inspection or the contract, the purchase is for that home?
yeah, no, so I guess from the inspector perspective, it doesn't matter as much to me, but when you guys are, let's say, dealing, because I'm a veteran, I've used my VA, benefits before. I know that there's certain things that are required by the VA, right? So lead paint is a thing, or anything having to do with water, right? So I might help the agent while she's standing there, say, hey, because a lot of times I'll get the question, so what do you think the major things are we should focus on? And I'll say, well, if you have a VA loan, which sounds like you do, I would focus on, obviously, you've got some termites here, so you might want to get the termites treated. You might want to fix the water heater over here. You might want to do, and so I'll make suggestions there. And, those things I can highlight in the report just by bolding it, so they kind of stand out a little bit more. But what's interesting is each home buyer is so different. You got your T.W. Lewis folks, right? So they're the real particular home buyer, as they used to advertise. You got those kind of people, and then you got other people. They're like, hey, we're going to demo the whole kitchen, so we don't care about this, or that. And so it's hard to. I can't just assume that somebody's going to want certain things. I kind of have to be told by you guys, like, this is sort of what we're dealing with. What do you think? And then I can sort of team up with you and give you, the best recommendations after knowing that.
Okay, so the inspection will be the same, but the summary will determine how we
Yeah,
prioritize
so you just,
what really needs.
just the way the discussion starts to go, is determined on the buyer pretty much.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Kevin, let us know for the people that's listening how we can reach you. How do we reach you? Can you give us your contact information?
Yeah, well, obviously, if you go to BlueShieldHomeInspections.com, you'll see, I have a website there, and what I like to do, I do a lot of coffees. I don't know if I told you guys this, but you know, I'll meet agents, do kind of the one-on-one stuff, and kind of talk about, you know, what they're looking for and what they want. But you know, I always send out my digital card to everybody.
Okay.
You know, you want me to give you my phone number? I mean,
Yeah.
my
Well, it's not for us. It's for the people that's listening.
yeah, that's
So
true.
yeah,
That's
if
true.
you shout that out, and then I'll make sure that everyone here has your information as well.
That's great. Yeah,
I know that seemed weird, huh? Like 602-580. I know.
yeah. No, my phone number is 602-509-0323. And you know, like I said, you can find me on the web. I find a lot of folks are, you know, they're Googling home inspectors. I happen to have about, I say I'm north of 150 5-star Google reviews now.
Okay.
And those are hard to come by when you consider.
Trust me, I know.
I mean, a lot of people will tell you, "Oh yeah, we'll do one." Then you know they
They
don't.
don't
right?
know,
And I
right.
totally get it. I've
Yeah.
been there myself, right?
Yeah.
But they are hard to come by. So I think, comparatively speaking, unless there's a giant company out there,
Right.
that, you know, set something up.
Well, there are consumers that look at stars. I'm one of them. I look at stars, I read stars, and I also reply when I get one back. So,
Yeah.
just because I know how important that is, and a lot of my decision making when doing anything in my house, and I Google it, I'm looking at stars. I don't have anything else to compare it to.
Yeah.
So that's awesome to have that.
Yeah, so you can Google Blue Shield Home Inspections and Consulting, and I'll pop up right there.
And we
for
can
you.
schedule, reach out. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
that's great. I never have a problem with people sending me. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook.
Okay, make sure you guys follow. I'll make sure we
Yeah, no,
follow.
that's great.
and
I'll
be in
follow you
touch,
back.
and we'll add you to our vendor list. So great to have you here, Austin. Shout out how can we find you, Commercial Broker?
Well, I mean, same as last time. My Instagram is at Austin Tatka. Phone number 480-650-9339. But yeah, I mean, mainly I was just here for Kevin because he does such a great job. So.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Hopefully we have more people bring more people. And if you know anybody, please feel free to book them as well, whether they be in a different profession than you, and you come with them. I
Yeah, that'd be
mean,
great.
Networking.
Yeah, we definitely like to like I said, like, know, and trust people is that you trust and know. So definitely feel free if you know any plumbers, or these are professions we haven't had yet. We have some painters booked, but you were the first inspector, and I'm like, how does he find time? Because we all, you guys are super busy. That's why I really appreciate you joining us. But definitely feel free to send the invitation out. You have the link. If anyone would like to join, and you join with them, or they can just come on their own. We'll make sure that they feel welcome.
That's great. I appreciate that.
Awesome. All right, guys. We're going to close. Thank you guys for joining CIC. You guys have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Beyond the beat.